Good morning and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiana and today I am making a video over the culture shocks I have experienced in the Netherlands, part 2. The first one I posted a few months back. You can check that one out. That one has a little bit more of like the basic big culture shocks that I experienced or have experienced since living here. And this one is going to be a little bit more in-depth, like the little things that I've noticed that are different, that I'm surprised are a thing. Let's get straight into it. So, I've lived in the Netherlands for a little over a year now, and I've got quite a long list of things that are just so different than America because this is a very completely different culture. It's a completely different everything. I figured because it's not like a third world country or anything that it would be relatively similar, but that's just not the case. So, number 1, everything comes alive when the sun comes out. When the sun is out, so are the people, okay? Which makes sense here. Here the weather is not great most of the time. It is quite dark and rainy. So when the sun comes out, the people are out on the streets and going to cafes, and the amount of cafes that are full when the sun is out they're all full, all of them. And just like even the people just swimming in the canals. First, I don't know why I didn't think that was a thing, but so many people just go swimming in the canals during like when it's nice weather outside, which is amazing. I love that. The next is birthday calendars in the bathroom. I've found that like a funny little tradition that you guys have here. I'm not sure exactly where the tradition came from, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I am not the best at remembering birthdays, but I do think it is important to remember birthdays. So probably having a little calendar in your bathroom every morning or every day when you go pee, you can just check, say, oh, is it anyone's birthday today? Better text them while I'm on the toilet. Is that the reason for the tradition? I'm not really sure. You leave a comment below if or where that came from and if you do it, if you have one. Also, does the owner of the house write in all the birthdays, or are you supposed to add your birthday on the calendar? How does that work? A lot of the schools here are affiliated to like religion, so there's a lot of like Catholic schools, which I found strange. I mean, I guess in America, public schools, none of them have any ties to religion, but I guess that's because there's the separation between church and state in America, and I guess that's not a thing here. So I've never come across like religious schools other than private schools. All schools in America that are religious are private schools. So here, it's funny that like Lewis and Lexi, my stepchildren, they go to a Catholic school or Christian school. So they'll come home and sing songs about God, and like they don't go to church or anything. So I think, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, I don't have an issue with it. I think sometimes even if you aren't a strong believer in faith or have a strong faith, the rules and like the path is nice for children to have of like the be a good person kind of thing. So I'm not against it. One of my favorite little traditions that you guys have is getting a little sweet treat with your coffee or tea when you order at a restaurant. Anywhere, all the time, you always get a little, either a cookie or a chocolate or some kind of little treat next to your tea or coffee. Sometimes I don't even want a tea, but I get one just because I want the little treat. That's a secret from me because I was like an avid water orderer in America because, yeah, you get water for free, and I sometimes I'm like, I don't need a drink. But here I'm like reluctant to order water because you have to pay for it. I don't know, I'm just like against paying for water at a restaurant. So I always order something else, like a tea or something. And yeah, so the tea definitely helps me feel better about it because I get a little sweet treat with it. Next is the wait for everything. And when I say everything, I mean, yeah, there is a wait for pretty much all things important that you need to do. Your driver's license, a long wait, like 6 to 9 months. To the dentist, long wait. To go to therapy, super long wait. So you just gotta really plan your life out here. You gotta make sure you have everything booked, ready to go, or else you're gonna be waiting a really long time. Along with the wait, just getting your driver's license in general here is very difficult. Like you have to first you take your theory exam, and after you pass that, then you can book for your practical exam. But the theory exam is very challenging. Like I had to study. I actually have done and passed my theory exam. Go me. I got it. I finished it on the first try with a great score. So that was exciting, but it's not easy, that's for sure. I really studied, and it's kind of like cocky to say, but I'm a really good test taker. Like even through university, I never really studied hard for an exam, but I really studied for this exam, and yeah, I guess it paid off, but I was afraid. I was like, I don't know if I know all these rules. There's a lot of little hidden rules, and like just kind of, it's more like applied knowledge that you need to have well understood before you'll pass the exam. And then you take your driver's lessons and then your exam. And your driver's lessons, I've heard on average people take like 30 to 50 lessons. Now that is a lot. That is a lot because they're like 60 to 80 euros per lesson. So that's like thousands of dollars to get your driver's license. Hopefully I don't need that many lessons because I already know how to drive. I've been driving for 10 years. I just need to like learn the rules and stuff. I'm also not getting a license with a manual car. I'm only going to get an automatic license because we own an automatic car. I've never driven a manual, and I do not plan to ever drive a manual car. So yeah, that may be one thing that makes it a little bit easier for me, and hopefully cost less, have less lessons required. Like little strange one that I never expected was the shopping carts here. They go in all which direction. So like whichever way you push the cart, it goes like side to side. It just does whatever it wants to do. In America, the shopping carts only go forward and backwards. And like I don't really know the mechanics of it, but they do not, like you cannot just like push the cart to the side. You have to turn it and then push it. It's convenient for sure, but also like a core workout, kind of. Like when you're turning, if there's a lot in the cart, you're like, to to keep it stable. But yeah, it's just a funky little one that I'm like, that's strange. Okay, maybe not strange, but different. That's different. Oh, side note, let me chat about last video. I said, everyone here smokes. And I know that's not true. It was an exaggeration. I didn't pull up the statistics. I've gotten loads of comments about that's not true. Not everyone smokes. Only 20% of the population smokes. Only, like, it's illegal in public, in cafes, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But, like, I don't know where it's illegal at cafes because I am an avid patio sitter. If the sun is out, I'm on the patio. And every single time there has been at least one person smoking near me. I know I'm not everyone around me is smoking, but at least someone is. And there's always ashtrays on the tables. So if it's illegal, why do they put ashtrays on the table? I don't get that. I'm gonna need some clarification on this information. I understand not everyone smokes. Please don't come after me. But I still don't like having to deal with people smoking at a cafe while I'm eating or around my baby, you know? That's one thing that I wish was a little more like in America, because in America, I literally do not see people smoking. I was in Colorado for 3 weeks a few months back, and I did not see a single person smoke the entire time I was there. So that's what I meant when I said I feel like everyone smokes. I know not everyone smokes, but I'm just exposed to it a lot more. Like when living back in the States, I was never around it. So here, just walking down the street, you smell it. Walking in a cafe, you smell it. Like it's much, much more common here than it is there. On a more positive note, you guys know how to party. Let me tell ya, there are festivals, there are sporting events, there are just things going on all the time. And the Dutch they know how to party, let me tell ya. They have got all the, like for the soccer games, there was just the European Championship, and I have never experienced so much national support than I experienced those few weeks or those few games. We went to cafes, every single person is in orange, everyone is singing the songs, it was great. A whole, like, if I could tell someone to experience something, I would say the European Championship in the Netherlands, because it was amazing. It was so cool. Of course, we didn't actually go to Germany to experience it. I wish we had, because that would have been amazing. But, like, we also have a baby, so that just wasn't super practical. Maybe in 4 years, when our baby's a little older, then we can do it. We'll see. Another funny thing that I've noticed is people's perception of distance here. Like, we have just moved, and people say that we've moved, like, it's like so far away. We moved only 30 minutes away. So to me, I'm like, 30 minutes away, that's the next town over to what I'm used to. Of course, that's not the case here, but 30 minutes, I feel like that's not that far. But everyone's like, you're so far. Everyone we've experienced or talked to, they're like, oh, that's a while away. I'm like, not really, but yeah, to each is their own perspective, I guess. If 30 minutes is, I guess on a bike, a 30-minute drive is quite far. So maybe that's how people conceptualize, like, if it's far or not. Like, is it still bikeable? Then it's not so far. But if it's farther than the distance they're willing to bike, maybe that's what they consider far. So right now it's actually summer holiday, and this country is so quiet. So since I was 18, I traveled all the time. I traveled actually once a month, every month for almost 4 years. I was always on the go, all around the world. Almost every single place I went to, I met a Dutch person, which I found so strange because I'm like, the Netherlands is a small country. There is a small population, but every single place I go, pretty much, there's a Dutch person. Like, how are you guys everywhere? And I realized it's because you all love to travel. Your traveling spirit is there. You guys all do it. It's great. But I realized, like, during this summer vacation, literally everyone leaves. The whole country is gone. Like, there's no one. Everyone's on vacation. Super cool, but also kind of funky when you, like, go to a shop that you're used to going to, but it's closed for the whole month. I definitely, of course, it's a little inconvenient when you need things, but I love, love, love that outlook on life. The work-life balance here is phenomenal. Not so much for my husband because he owns his own business, so he's still working. There's no month-long breaks that we're taking right now, but no paid time off. Also, the fact that employers are required to pay 150% on Saturdays and 200% on Sundays. I think that's what the rules are. That's amazing. I don't think that that's even close to a thing in America. I know you get double pay for, like, holidays if you're working on, like, Christmas, stuff like that, but I don't think Sundays is included in that. So that's pretty cool. But also, it was a little inconvenient for us because we needed to move, but the only day Round was available to move was on a Sunday. But then to pay the movers, we'd have to pay double. Yeah, everything has pros and cons. Along with the holidays, you guys get 2 days for Christmas and Easter. Like the second Christmas day and the Easter second day. That is so cool. I am grateful that we get, like, an extra day. Like, where did that even come from? You guys are like, yeah, let's just add an extra few days in there. That's amazing. So the next culture shock would be Sinterklaas. So Sinterklaas is a cute little holiday that's, like, similar to Santa Claus. I've actually realized that Santa Claus came from Sinterklaas. There's a whole long history between it. But Santa Claus is, like, the Americanized Santa Claus. I'm still torn between, like, what do we celebrate with Zola, because my daughter, because I'm used to Santa, and so, like, I want to give her all my traditions, but also everyone here is going to do Santa Claus, and so I don't want her to have all Santa Claus and Santa Claus, because that's just, like, a lot of gifts and a lot of old men sneaking into your house. So I don't know what's the best option. Like, how to blend those cultures and, yeah, just, like, traditional holidays that, like, I want to celebrate, but don't really fit in here. I guess some people here do also celebrate Santa. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. She's got a few more years till she'll even remember what's going on, so I'll figure it out by then. Another thing that I was shocked by is the cost of childcare. I was under the impression that childcare was very affordable here, but I didn't realize like how the scaling works. I have a friend who he pays for two days a week for his child 1,200 euros a month, but his sister goes to the same childcare and she only pays 90 euros a month. I understand the concept. It's you pay for what you can afford. It makes sense, but to me it also feels a little unfair. Like the more money you make, the more you pay, so you're just getting punished for working more, working harder, having a better career. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's great for those in need to be able to get the same services, but I feel like it's not super fair. Another one is having to pay for the toilet. I am used to, I know that this is common in like all of Europe, actually in a lot of places in the world, but it's just kind of like I was used to it during traveling, but now that like I live here and I'm like, oh, I have to pee, like let me just run into the grocery store and pee. But that's just like not a thing. They don't even have bathrooms at the grocery stores here. It's always like first you gotta buy the ticket, and then most of the time you wanna buy something with the cost of the ticket so you don't just throw away the money. A lot of places don't even have bathrooms. In the States, everywhere you go, there is a bathroom and it is free. Like everywhere you go. The gas station, the grocery store, any restaurant. Restaurants here, the bathroom is free, but most of they won't just let you go in and use the bathroom and leave. You have to eat there, which yeah, it makes sense, but it's just not something I'm used to. Round's always like, oh, I have to pee, but I'm like, oh, we're going to the grocery store, you're fine, but he's not fine. So the fact that school buses don't even exist here, that's so funny to me that I didn't even think that was an American thing, but school buses are not a thing here, so kids just ride their bikes to school, which makes sense because this is the biking country. Kids also have half days at school a lot of the times. It's different in every school, I think, but sometimes Wednesdays are half days, sometimes Fridays are half days, which I think is nice for younger children to be able to have a little bit more time at home, less time in the classroom. I also think that homework is not nearly as prioritized here as it is in the States. So that's pretty cool. Also, the system on how children get divided into different schools based off of their interest or their level of skill. So young here, I think it's around 12, then they take a test and then they get sent to different schools. And that's kind of, yeah, it's very different to what I'm used to. In America, everyone goes to the same school. There's different classes and different things to take at each school, but everyone's in the same school. They're not separate. I don't know how I feel about it. It almost feels a little segregated to me. The people that are, the people that like to work with their hands and the people that are super smart, I think sometimes they can collaborate and work together well, but here they're separated. But I also think it's nice that you have a school that's dedicated for people that are on that like to work with cars or whatever, then they can kind of focus on that type of education. So there's, I think, pros and cons, of course, with both of them. And the fact that there's no sports at school. I think I will really miss that. I was definitely all into the sports. I love athletics. I would definitely have Zola in a lot of club sports or whatever club sports she wants, or activities. They don't have to be sports, but in music or theater or gymnastics, whatever she wants to do. But I do think extracurricular activities are important. It being just not part of the school is new to me. Now the next little part is going to be about moving and rentals here in the Netherlands. First of all, finding a rental here is challenging. Okay, the market, there are far too little houses for far too many people. Sometimes we would click on a link to apply for a house and 100 people have already applied to it in one day. There's such high demand but such low supply, which is unfortunate. But we have found ourselves a beautiful home, so we at least figured it out after a year and a half of searching. Also, things that are funny here to me, well, not funny, I think it's inconvenient, but there's no screens on the windows here. I really don't like bugs in the house or flies in the house or mosquitoes in the house, but most homes don't come with screens here, and most people don't even put them on. So I wonder, do you guys just like enjoy waking up to mosquito bites in the morning? Because I don't. Zola right now, we don't have screens on these windows. I do plan to put them on because it is something that is important to me, and although I am trying to assimilate to the Dutch culture, that is one thing I'm not willing to assimilate to. I want screens. Zola right now, she has like 4 mosquito bites on her little body, and she just woke up with them one day because a mosquito came in through the window, but it's too hot to not keep the windows open. So yeah, screens, not having them, that's one Dutch thing that I'm not gonna live with. Also, the whole process of like a rental, like here they don't even like clean the rental before you move in. Like in the States, everything is professionally painted and cleaned before the next person comes in. Like that's the responsibility of the landlord. But here it's like the way that the old people moved out is the way that the new people move in. And to me, it's unfortunate because that was the one thing I liked about moving into a new house, was that it's perfectly professionally cleaned. The grout is clean. The floors are spotless. The refrigerator is perfectly clean. Everything is perfectly, the blinds are clean. But here, yeah, you just gotta do it all yourself. But yeah, it's all right. I spent a few days cleaning and we survived. Lastly, this is one that I'm still trying to get used to, but it is eating with a fork and a knife in both hands at the same time the whole time you eat. I am so not used to this, and my husband hates it. He says that I don't have manners. But like I just eat with my fork, and if I need a knife, then I switch hands, put my knife in my right hand and my left hand, and then I cut it, and then I put the knife down and switch hands with the fork and use the fork to eat. Like I only use one hand to eat, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But here they use 2 hands, which is very convenient. But since I wasn't raised that way, or didn't like, I don't have those skills, I can't figure it out, okay? Like, my hands don't work that way. My right hand doesn't know how to do basically anything, I swear. I'm left-handed. And so I'm trying, I'm practicing, I'm getting better at it, but yeah, that's one funny little thing that I'm not used to, but trying to get used to. Now, I think that is it for today. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more videos of me living in the Netherlands. Have a wonderful day.